Chosen one, have you been feeling it lately? That strange stirring in your spirit. Like something's shifting, even though you can't explain it? You're not imagining things. Listen closely, chosen one. This Saturday is not just another day on the calendar. It's not routine. It's not random. It's appointed. There are moments in your life that heaven highlights. Moments where time bends, where the atmosphere feels different, where destiny leans closer. And this Saturday, this is one of those moments. You're standing at a threshold that isn't just natural, it's divine. You may not see it with your eyes yet, but your soul has already picked it up. You felt the inner tension, the spiritual restlessness, the quiet voice saying, pay attention. That's not anxiety. That's not your imagination. That's alignment. Heaven has been whispering through patterns, through dreams, through signs. It's been calling your name. Chosen one, this Saturday isn't coming to pass you by. It's arriving to wake you up. See, not every day is created equal. There are days and then there are divine appointments. Days that act like spiritual checkpoints, where God pauses time to check your position, to realign your direction, to deliver what's been held back for such a time as this. Saturday is that kind of day. Not just a Saturday, this Saturday. It's marked. It's coded with favor. It's been written in spiritual ink long before you got here. And guess what? You've been walking toward it the whole time, sometimes aware, sometimes unaware, but always guided. Maybe you've been wondering, why have things felt so strange lately? Like you're in between seasons? Not where you used to be, but not quite where you're going. Maybe you've noticed divine coincidences, repeating numbers, unusual encounters, moments that feel like they carry more weight than they should. All of that, that's confirmation. You're on heaven's radar, and your name is being whispered in rooms you haven't entered yet. So what does that mean for you? It means this Saturday requires your attention. It's not a day to coast. It's not a day to scroll endlessly or get lost in distraction. It's a day to be present, to slow down, to listen, to discern. Because when heaven calls a moment sacred, it's because something is about to shift. And let me tell you, this shift isn't just happening around you, it's happening inside you. You're stepping into a new phase of understanding, into a deeper awareness of who you are and what you carry. You are not here by accident. You didn't stumble into this message. You've been drawn into it. Because there's something heaven wants to deliver to you. But more importantly, there's something heaven wants to activate within you. So pause right now and ask yourself, what if this Saturday is the day my story pivots? What if this is the doorway you've been praying for? Not one that opens outward, but one that opens inward, revealing the strength, the clarity, the calling that's been quietly forming inside you. Through every delay, every storm, every unanswered prayer, you've been prepared for this. You've been preserved for this. And now, you're being positioned for this. Chosen one, get ready, as heaven has circled this date. Your spirit already knows it. And now it's time for the rest of you to catch up. This Saturday is not just another day. This Saturday, there is a portal opening, not a fantasy, not some far-off mystery, but a real spiritual gateway, aligned with your purpose, your provision, your peace. This is a moment charged with supernatural activity. Financial release is near, relationship restoration is in reach, spiritual elevation is being initiated. And all of it is connected to the season you've endured in silence. You were faithful when no one was watching. You believed when there was no evidence. You sowed seeds in dry ground. Now the heavens are saying, it's harvest time. But let me be clear, this didn't happen by accident. You were built for this. You were forged in fire. Like a diamond, pressure didn't destroy you. It revealed you. It refined you. It proved what was inside you all along. And those moments where you felt rejected, that wasn't punishment. It was preservation. God wasn't pushing you away. He was hiding you from distractions, from wrong doors, from things that looked good but weren't God. He kept you in the shadows so that when the spotlight came, you'd be ready to carry the weight of the calling. Chosen one, you've been walking for so long thinking the path was ordinary, but the truth is, The ground under your feet has been holy all along, and this Saturday, you'll feel it. The veil will lift, and you'll realize you've been standing on sacred ground. So here's what I want you to understand. This is not the time to back down, not the time to doubt what you've been sensing, not the time to dismiss the whispers from your spirit. You are on the edge of something extraordinary. God didn't bring you this far to leave you confused. He brought you here to reveal, to release, and to realign you with everything that's been promised. This is your time, and the door isn't just opening around you, it's opening through you. Saturday is more than a moment on the calendar. It's a divine marker, a holy checkpoint in your story. And when it comes, don't hesitate, don't look back, just step in. Let me ask you something. If heaven marked a specific day for you, if God was whispering through signs, preparing you for something sacred, would you know how to respond? Would you be ready, chosen one? This isn't a time for distraction. It's not the hour for background noise, chaos, or endless scrolling. This is a spiritual checkpoint, and the way you enter it will determine how deeply you receive from it. There's a posture required to access divine moments. And this Saturday, it's not a day to rush through. It's a day to be still and listen. Stillness isn't weakness, it's strategy. It's how heaven tunes your frequency to pick up divine instructions. We live in a world that worships noise, opinions, urgency, distractions. But when God is speaking, He doesn't compete with chaos. He whispers. And if you're not still enough, you'll miss the very instruction that could shift your entire trajectory. Sometimes the difference between delay and destiny is obedience in the small things. A gentle nudge to call someone. A quiet prompting to release that burden. A simple choice to stay silent when you want to react. It's not always dramatic, but it's always divine. God tests your readiness by what you do with what seems insignificant. Here's what many overlook. Obedience has momentum, and not just regular momentum, quantum movement. When you respond immediately to a divine instruction, heaven doesn't just applaud you, it accelerates you. You'll look back and wonder how years of delay suddenly collapsed into days of progress. And it won't make sense logically, because it was never about logic. It was about alignment. God is not slow. He's precise. He moves when you're ready, and readiness is revealed through obedience. Now pay attention, because this is where it gets supernatural. This Saturday is encoded with signs. If you're spiritually tuned in, you'll start noticing them. Repeating numbers, vivid dreams, unexpected encounters, phrases that seem to follow you, divine interruptions that shift your direction. Don't write them off. They're not random. They're heaven's breadcrumbs, leading you towards something holy. Sometimes it's not what's said, but what's felt that confirms your next step. A deep peace, an unshakable knowing, a silence that feels louder than words. That's God. And the most profound breakthroughs, they don't always arrive wrapped in lightning and fanfare. They come in stillness, clarity, and inner release. You might also start noticing a change in your relationships. People falling away, circles shifting, a strange sense of disconnection from what once felt close. Don't panic. You're not being abandoned. You're being refined. God doesn't remove to punish. He removes to prepare. He prunes to promote. And sometimes the blessing you've been praying for requires space to land. This isn't rejection, it's realignment. The people meant to walk with you into this next chapter will recognize the call on your life. They won't compete with it. They'll support it. Let go of what's not aligned. Release what drains your peace. Because what's ahead requires your full spiritual attention. So here's your divine instruction. Guard your stillness. Lean into your spirit. Be alert, not anxious. Be ready, not rushed. This Saturday is a sacred invitation. And how you respond will either unlock what's been waiting or delay what's already yours. Chosen one, the code is written, the signs are active, and heaven is speaking. Are you listening? Have you ever felt like you've forgotten who you really are? Like something sacred inside you has gone quiet. Not gone forever, but buried. Beneath the busyness, the heartbreak, the survival? If that resonates with you, then this Saturday isn't just a date on your calendar. It's a divine reminder, a sacred reawakening. Chosen one, what's been sleeping inside of you, your boldness, your joy, your sense of purpose, is about to rise again. There is a version of you, strong, whole, called, confident, that has been quietly waiting behind the curtain of delay. And now the curtain is pulling back. Saturday is not just a moment of breakthrough, it's a moment of becoming who you were created to be before life tried to confuse you, before fear tried to shrink you, before doubt whispered lies about your worth. This isn't about returning to your old self. It's about stepping into the real you, your anointed self. You'll move with clarity, speak with conviction, and carry yourself with holy confidence. Not arrogance, but the kind of authority that comes from knowing you've been chosen. Something ancient is waking up inside of you, something God placed in you long before you were ever aware of it. Maybe you've felt it stirring lately, a restlessness you couldn't explain, a hunger for more, a pull towards something deeper. That's not just emotion, that's calling. That's heaven tapping on the door of your soul saying, "Wake up, it's time." Saturday will reignite what life tried to put out. Your courage, your creativity, your vision, your divine hunger for why you're here. And once it awakens, you won't go back to playing small. You'll begin to walk like someone who knows they're sent, someone who doesn't just survive this life, but impacts it. But make no mistake, this reawakening is not just for you. This is legacy work. This is bloodline shifting. This is obedience that will ripple for generations. There are family patterns that end with you. Cycles of fear, lack, silence, shame. They break at your feet. You're not just being lifted, you're being positioned to lead, to influence, to carry light into dark places for those who haven't yet found their way. Your obedience today becomes the open door for someone else's tomorrow. This is the kind of shift that doesn't just make you feel better. It changes what your children will believe is possible. It rewrites the story for everyone who comes after you. Chosen one. Saturday is not here to pat you on the back. It's here to put a mantle on your shoulders. It's here to remind you that you are not random. You are not forgotten. You are not ordinary. You are called. You are equipped. You are anointed. And the world needs the version of you that heaven designed, not the one life tried to dim. This is your return. This is your rise. This is your revelation. So get ready, because who you are becoming is exactly who this world has been waiting for. Have you ever felt like everything in your life was shifting, but you couldn't quite explain why? Like something was moving under the surface, but no one else could see it? That, chosen one, is not a coincidence. That is the sound of divine realignment. And this Saturday, God's not just changing your circumstances. He's resetting your atmosphere. He's recalibrating your soul. And if you're paying attention, you'll notice nothing will feel the same. Let's start with this truth. You can't carry old energy into a new season. The shame you've held on to, the guilt that whispers you're not enough, the doubt that creeps in when breakthrough feels too far, it all has to go, because God is reactivating your spiritual authority. And when He does that, anything that's not aligned with your destiny gets exposed. This Saturday marks the end of a cycle, an emotional detox, a spiritual upgrade. You'll feel lighter, sharper, and more secure in your identity. But first, you must release what's been weighing you down. You cannot walk into sacred space while dragging chains you were meant to leave behind. Here's what many people overlook. As you elevate spiritually, your environment begins to shift. The conversations change. The energy around you feels different. You begin to notice who drains you and who fuels you. This isn't judgment, it's discernment. When God calls you higher, He often adjusts your circle to match your new spiritual frequency. So don't be alarmed if people fade. If plans fall through, if doors close without warning, you're not being pushed out, you're being lifted up. And sometimes separation is protection. Now hear this, chosen one. Just because you don't see movement doesn't mean God isn't working. He is always ahead of you, always behind the scenes, moving things into place with surgical precision. This Saturday, you might get a call you weren't expecting, an email you forgot about, a green light you've been praying for. A door that's been locked for years suddenly swings wide open, but even if none of that looks visible, the shift is still real. You might feel a sense of peace you haven't had in years, a knowing that doesn't need proof, a breath in your spirit that says, it's already done. Here's what I need you to hold on to. If something unexpected happens, if a plan falls apart, if a person walks away, if the path suddenly twists, don't panic. What feels like a detour could actually be divine redirection. God's strategies often confuse the natural mind, but they are flawless in their execution. You were never meant to control the outcome, only to stay aligned. And alignment means trusting that even in the delay, the confusion, the silence, God is still writing victory. So this Saturday, don't just expect change on the outside. Expect it in your mind, in your spirit, in the way you move, think, and feel. You are being realigned with purpose, reconnected to heaven's rhythm, and reset for the season ahead. Chosen one, this shift is personal, this shift is powerful, this shift is permanent. Step into it with confidence, because the atmosphere is already responding to your alignment. Have you ever felt like your life was full of fragments? A piece of purpose here, a bit of vision there, but nothing quite connecting? You've had the prayers, you've walked through the pain, you've carried a promise deep in your soul, but it always felt scattered. If that's where you've been, then hear me now. This is your moment of divine convergence. Everything that once felt disjointed, every chapter that didn't make sense, every long night in silent prayer, it's all coming together. There are moments in life when heaven begins to draw the scattered threads into one tapestry, and what once felt random suddenly feels intentional. Your past, it taught you resilience. Your pain, it produced compassion. Your prayers, they were planting seeds for what's sprouting now. This Saturday, don't be surprised if you feel things begin to click. The fog lifts, the noise quiets, and something inside says, I get it now. Because what once felt like crawling through chaos will suddenly feel like flying with clarity. It's not just about breakthrough anymore. It's about alignment. And alignment is what gives you wings. Here's what's beautiful. You won't need to force anything. When alignment happens, there's no hustle. There's flow. You'll stop acting out of pressure and start acting out of clear purpose. You'll no longer chase validation, attention, or approval. You'll stop running after opportunities that were never yours to carry, because you'll recognize what is and isn't assigned to your name. And in that recognition, you'll move with peace. Not the kind that's passive, but the kind that activates power. The kind of peace that says, this is mine. I don't have to beg for it. This is where it gets even more sacred. You won't just reconnect with your purpose. You'll reconnect with your fire. That inner flame you thought had died out, it's not gone. It was just waiting for this moment. Your hunger for vision, your longing to live with meaning, it's returning. You'll wake up with ideas again. You'll feel a pull toward creating, building, moving forward. You'll stop replaying old failures and start dreaming forward. Because now you know, you're not trying to find your place. You're being positioned into it. So let me speak this over you. You are being aligned, spirit, soul, and purpose. The confusion is lifting. The striving is ceasing. The fire is returning. Chosen one, you're no longer surviving seasons. You're stepping into assignments, not just to complete them, but to fulfill them. This isn't the end of your journey. This is the beginning of living it on purpose. And from this point forward, you won't move because you're desperate. You'll move because you're aligned. If you've made it to this moment, it's not by accident. There are some days that carry the weight of destiny, and this Saturday is one of them. A divine collision is taking place. Purpose is meeting preparation, and heaven is leaning in, waiting for you to say yes. You didn't come this far just to wonder. You came to witness. You came to walk through a door that has already been programmed, with your name on it. Yes, chosen one, that's how specific this is. This moment didn't randomly arrive. It has been scheduled on heaven's calendar. You've been praying, waiting, wondering if God still sees you, and now He's answering, not just with a word, but with a window of timing so precise, so sacred, that only those who are spiritually attuned will feel it. You are being trusted with this moment, not because you were the loudest, not because you were the fastest, but because your heart can carry the weight of this calling. And heaven knows, you won't misuse it. You won't waste it. You've been prepared, shaped, and preserved for this. So what happens now? Expect new doors to swing open, not forced, but divinely timed. Expect divine alignments, people, moments, messages that don't just show up, but fit. Connections that make you whisper, only God could have arranged this. Expect old dreams to wake up. Those desires you buried because life got too heavy, they're about to breathe again. You're not too late. You are in divine incubation, and most importantly, expect healing. Not the kind you can fake, not surface-level comfort, but deep, soul-level, cellular healing. A peace that replaces panic, a stillness that makes you weep without explanation. This is what happens when God rewrites the inner script. And when you rise from this Saturday, you'll feel it. Lighter, clearer, stronger, not just mentally, spiritually. People won't know what happened, but they'll feel it. They'll sense the shift in your tone, the light in your eyes, the power in your posture. You won't need to explain it. The atmosphere around you will do the talking. This is your elevation. This is your reveal. Not for fame, but for function.